Everyone knows that Donald Trump created and owns, of course, Trump Tower in New York, but it is not the only skyscraper he owns in the Big Apple. Another one was the scene of a terrible aerial tragedy that is almost completely forgotten today in the history of New York City. Known today as the Trump Building, 40 Wall Street was briefly the tallest building in the world when construction finished in 1930. Originally called the Bank of Manhattan Trust Building, it surpassed the then tallest structure in the world, the Woolworth Building, constructed in 1913. 40 Wall Street, standing 72 stories tall or 927 feet. However, in May 1930, the Chrysler Building was finished and 40 Wall Street's brief moment of fame passed. The building hit the news for a second time in 1946 due to a terrible aerial tragedy. On the 20th of May 1946, a United States Army Air Force Beechcraft C-45S Expediter, a twin-engine monoplane used as a staff transport aircraft, had taken off from Lake Charles Army Airfield in Louisiana, bound for Newark Airport in New Jersey. Aboard were the pilot and 4 Army officer passengers, one of them a woman. The plane had made a refueling stop at an airbase in Tennessee, resuming its flight at 2:16 p.m. One of the risks associated with flying aircraft over New York City is fog coming in from the Atlantic Ocean, and poor visibility had already caused a terrible aerial tragedy the year before. On the 28th of July 1945, a US AAF B-25 Mitchell bomber with 3 crew aboard had become disorientated in fog over Manhattan, whilst also heading for Newark Airport. The aircraft slammed into the Empire State Building, killing the aircrew and 11 people inside the tower. But it seemed that a year later no lessons had been learned as the C-45 ran into heavy fog above the city. The fog was hanging low over New York at 500 feet, everything above that line completely covered. Newark Control had given the pilot clearance to land at 6:56 p.m., but the pilot seemed unsure due to the poor visibility and commenced circling. Newark Control Tower last had contact with the C-45 at 7:08 p.m. The plane was still circling, waiting for better visibility. Some miles out, the pilot disorientated and lacking radar, and the plane blundered into Manhattan. At 8:10 p.m., the C-45 slammed into the north face of 40 Wall Street at the 58th floor, the aircraft smashing a huge 20 by 10-foot hole in the side of the building, the plane's fuel exploding in a brief fireball, all aboard dying instantly. The plane obliterated the offices of the Atlas Corporation, which due to it being early evening were in fact empty, as most people had gone home for the day. It also started a fire, plus another fire on the 24th floor, but both were quickly extinguished by firefighters. The wrecked rear of the fuselage and the broken wings plummeted earthwards down the face of the building, smashing into the building's ledge at the 12th floor. The concussion from the impact and the explosion broke windows in nearby towers, and one wheel from the plane bounced off Pine Street below and landed 4 floors up another building. Some people in the street below 40 Wall Street were hit by falling debris and burning aircraft parts. Fortunately, nobody was killed on the ground or seriously injured. There was some concern at the time that the huge hole made by the aircraft would compromise the building's stability, but like the Empire State Building the year before, it stood firm, and the damage was later repaired. Donald Trump purchased 40 Wall Street in 1995, changing the name to the Trump Building. Of course, the 1946 crash would not be the last time an aeroplane struck a building in Manhattan. The last time was in fact 2006, when a Cirrus SR-20 light aircraft crashed into the 50-story tall Bel Air apartments on Manhattan's Upper East Side. The plane's owner, New York Yankees pitcher Corey Liddell, and his flight instructor were both killed, and 21 people, including 11 firefighters, injured. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.